Have you ever heard of like generational curses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think-
talk about that all the time on this podcast.
I think those are real, but I also think generational blessings are real because my parents got married super young.
Yeah.
They've been married for 27 years.
Wow.
They got married super young, had 2 kids. He got into the Navy, and he did a couple times, got out, and then they went from there trying to figure out like how life goes, you know. And I think that's a generational blessing my family has, is the ability to find love at an early age.
So welcome back to the podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. She's a singer and songwriter based in the Bay Area, California. She currently has an EP available called Civil Disobedience. It's streaming on all major platforms. Her art vlog can be found on her Instagram page at Marisha_Ashanti. She is currently creating a program to bring diverse readership into a website called goodreads.com. No matter what the project, Marisha intends to heal her community as she continues to heal herself. Welcome to the podcast, Marisha Ashanti.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate having you here. Yeah, I just met you a few minutes ago, and I can already love your energy, right? Yeah. So we always start the podcast with kind of getting to know the person, because I feel like if they get to know your story, like how you grew up, where you come from, they can really connect with you.
For sure.
So did you grow up? Where'd you grow up at?
So I grew up in Orange Park, Florida. I always like to reference like 10 minutes out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, Duval.
It's more like Clay County.
Oh,
but
there you
we're
go.
not
Okay.
gonna-
You're like, no, Clay, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna go there,
Yeah.
But I'm a suburban kid coming out of Orange Park, Florida, Navy brat. I was actually born in San Diego, but I really didn't spend much time there. All my family, everything I know is pretty much in Orange Park, Jacksonville, Florida area.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Navy brat.
yeah, I'm a Navy brat.
What was it like growing up as a Navy brat?
I think that's why I can keep things, pretty much copacetic. Shout out to Lovey. I think I can keep things, pretty much copacetic anywhere I go.
Okay.
I can, adapt and overcome pretty well.
Okay.
And I think that's got a lot to do with me being a Navy brat. But I think also I wasn't really a Navy brat for long. My dad did a couple terms and then he was out.
Okay.
Once he was stationed in Jacksonville, because that's where most of my family is anyway.
Okay. So how old were you when your dad left the military?
I was pretty young. I wasn't even in double digits yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I am a firm believer like the things that happen to you, whether or not you remember them or not, affect how you function as an adult.
100%.
You know?
They say that from age 0 to 7, that's when your subconscious is created. So anything that happens in those first 7 years is actually super, super important.
Facts.
Yeah, and our subconscious controls 80 to 90% of our decisions that we do every day, like on autopilot.
Wow.
So you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
There you go, right?
Yeah, check out Joe Dispenza. He talks about like subconscious
Yeah.
minds and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Yeah.
I don't know what's behind there. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You'll be ready. It'll be good. So do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got one brother, one older brother. Shout out to Mario Robinson, MJ Robinson,
Okay.
my hero. That's
there you go. That's
my guy.
exciting. How much older is he?
Man, don't put me on the spot. I just told you my
Oh.
best friend. I don't know his age.
Okay.
Well, he's definitely my
Is he a
older
lot
brother.
older? A lot older?
Let's see. Gosh. Okay. So I think he's 8 years older than me.
8 years older. Okay.
I think he may be 6 to 8 years. Let's go
Okay.
6 to 8.
Okay. It's okay. It's a pretty good range, right?
Yeah, 6 to
Yeah.
8, give or take. I think he's 6 to 8 years older than me, but he's always been like, my inspiration,
Yeah.
my best friend. In terms of like, I was always that annoying little sister.
Okay.
He always put up with me. I was always forced on him. He had no choice.
Oh, wow.
To this day.
Yeah. But that's good. That's good that he actually took on the role of a good big brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My brother was by no means a traditional big brother in terms of like, burly and stocky.
Yeah.
Because my brother's pretty short. He a man, but he pretty short. My whole family pretty short. But my brother was always there for me in terms of emotional support.
That's great.
My brother was always there for me in terms of like being honest and being real with me. I could always depend on him to like sell it to me straight.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of my professionalism. I learned a lot of my artistic drive and perfection from him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like a father figure and a brother, would you say?
Well, I'm a suburban kid, so I had a mom, had a dad, had a brother. I had all roles pretty much filled, but my brother served a special role because he just was he was always a constant for me. They were always a constant for me. But my brother was just always there. We were always vibed. He always had my back. Even if I didn't necessarily have his as a kid,
Yeah.
snitching and stuff. But he always had me.
Yeah,
So
that's great though.
just a good big brother.
Was it like moving away from your family?
It's different, especially since like they're pretty much my friends. Those are my friends. Like when I go home, that's who I go see, with the exception of like two other people. Those are my friends. So it was kind of hard. But then again, I'm an Army wife, or was an Army wife, so I'm kind of used to, moving forward, regardless of who's with me at the time, and still keeping lines that are important to me open. So yeah, it was hard, but I did it.
That's a pretty valuable point there too, though, because I guess being a part of a Navy brat, or just military in general, you guys are always moving, right? And you said it taught you how to move forward, but never lose touch with
sure.
with where you come from and stuff like that, or your family and stuff. That's pretty important. So how long ago did you move from Florida to here?
So I moved from Florida in 2014 to El Paso, Texas with my husband.
Okay.
He was in the Army, and we picked up and we just moved there. And then he did one term. So 2017 we moved back to Jacksonville. And he actually went overseas to Guam for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an engineer, so he deals in all different types of things. I think he's a spy.
Oh, okay.
In real life, he just hasn't told me.
Yeah.
I mean, for good reason.
We can't say that.
Yeah,
though.
right?
Yeah.
Never mind. Scratch that.
Edit.
Just outed him. Just kidding.
Yeah, but so I think it was 2019 we moved. At the end of 2018, so January 1st, 2019. We moved to Fairfield, California.
Okay.
And we lived in a hotel for about 3 months.
Wow.
That's all we had was our clothes on our back. And then 3 months later, we found a house in Walnut Creek that we rented out. And we've been there ever since.
So what made you guys move back to California? Sorry.
So he found a job here,
Okay.
and we stayed here just because I feel like California is one of those places where you either you go big or you go home.
Yeah, 100%.
And we kind of just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I kind of started making music. I started going to open mics first.
Yeah.
And those open mics turned into like people asked me to go places. And then those going places went from like Oakland, then out into like the East Bay, and then from the East Bay into like Richmond, and then Richmond into like Berkeley. And I think I made my way all the way up to like Napa at this point, and all the way as south as like South LA. So yeah, I've been around the block a little bit over these almost 3 years.
That's cool. So is he still doing engineering?
No, actually, he's a full-time entrepreneur now. We actually started a business in 2020, Mass Logistics, mutually assured successful services. It's a trucking company based in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you guys are in California, but your company's based in Florida.
That's how you make money, man.
There you go.
That makes sense.
That's how you make the money,
Okay.
man.
So what made you guys decide to go into trucking?
Money.
Money?
Yeah,
Okay.
money. I mean, when you had the money and you had the connections, I think when I got here in California, I started getting into stocks and things of that nature. Then once I start, having a little room to play with it, I kind of wanted to pull it out of the stocks and more so pull into something I could physically touch.
Yeah.
And we started getting connections, and then before we knew it, we had a trunking company. But we always kind of like that. It was like, you want to do it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's go.
So you guys are like a team.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
For sure.
That's powerful. I mean, that's how most relationships should be, right?
Yeah. By far not perfect, but that is definitely my partner in crime. And what's the opposite of crime?
Success.
Yeah, my partner in crime and success.
There you go.
I sense that vibe ever since I met you two.
Yeah.
You guys can just joke around. It's just like, so natural. And you guys have been together for a long time.
We got married. Gosh, Joe, you making me look bad. We got married.
No, I'm just saying it's very successful. And someone like me, I really admire that,
Thank
you know, and I don't have a relationship like that. So that's why I always look up to my friends. I was like, you guys been together for how long? Like, wow, you know, how'd you guys do it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
How long have you guys been together?
So we got married in 2013, but we knew each other since 2010. I think we started dating in 2011. I don't want to get them in trouble, dates.
Yeah.
I think we got married for sure 2013. So that's the date I count basically.
Yeah.
So 7 years. 7 years.
How'd you guys meet?
We met at a Future Business Leaders of America conference.
So you guys were already entrepreneurial.
Yeah. He was running uncontested as president, and we had like a mutual friend, and I was ignoring him.
That's why. See, you made him want it. He was chasing. Yeah,
I was ignoring him because I don't do well with toxic male energy. When you think you big shit popping, you kind of like. You kind of exude that energy for a minute. He may have been, but I wasn't gonna tell him that. So my friend said, "Isn't she cute?" And he was like, "Yeah, she's cute in the ugly girl kind of way." And I was like, "Oh!" Like, it really set me off because I was big shit popping back then. So I was like, "Wow, wait a minute," And ever since then, I blinked and I was married. I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute." Yeah, but that's kind of how it went.
He got you with that line.
Yeah. It's like reverse.
Reverse psychology.
I don't want you, and he was like, "I don't want you." I was like, "Wait a minute."
That's not the response I expected.
Wait a minute. You do want me. And I want you. Let's stop playing.
That's hilarious.
Here we are.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's my boo.
So, you say he's military, right?
Yeah, he's out of the military now.
Do you think because you grew up as a military kid that you kind of were attracted to military, or it just kind of happened that way?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I think because I was a military kid, I think I'm built for that, and I really do believe in like attraction, the law of attraction, the things you attract, things that you are built for. I think I'm built for that lifestyle.
Okay.
Everybody not built to be an army wife. Everybody not built to be like in relationships with service members because it's a different beast. You know what I mean? But I think I was built like that, and I just think. I got. I need. Have you ever heard of like generational curses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time on this podcast.
I think those are real, but I also think generational blessings are real because my parents got married super young.
Yeah.
They've been married for 27 years.
Wow.
They got married super young, had 2 kids. He got into the Navy, and he did a couple terms, got out, and then they went from there trying to figure out like how life goes, And I think that's a generational blessing my family has is the ability to find love at an early age.
That's a powerful generational blessing, to be honest.
That's a good hashtag, generational blessings.
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
I'm just saying.
Because one of the things about the podcast is, and just in general from my life, I want to break the generational curses in my family, but I also like to bring people on that are breaking generational curses in their family, right?
Yeah.
But I never heard the generational blessings part.
Yeah, it's always another end of the spectrum.
100%, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So hey, man, you guys heard it here. Generational blessings on the Bliss Seekers podcast. Yeah. By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you hit the notification bell because it really helps us out.
Facts.
But anyways, getting back to it. So generational blessings, right? Yeah. Any other generational blessings you think you have, that your family has?
Let's see. That's a good question. Well, yeah, I think another generational blessing that my family has is we are very loving. We filled with a lot of love. A lot of love. Like you come home. If you were to come home with me, if Joe was to come home with me, they'd be like, "What's your name?" Yeah. "Hey, family." And that's it. That's it for them. Like it's awesome. All love. So yeah, I think I'm generationally blessed with like a lot of love inside of me. So much so that like sometimes I don't see the things that's going on around me.
That's good though. I mean,
it's a protective bubble right there, just filled with love and energy. Yeah, you always give me the biggest hugs ever.
Yeah. I felt that when I first met you.
Yeah,
too. Like,
right.
That's good, man.
I mean, and we talked about this, I think, on the last podcast where when I was young, I'm not very religious, but when I was very young, I had someone kind of teach me a little bit about spirituality or about what God really is, and so I had an older gentleman who was kind of like a mentor to me, and he said his wife was Native American, right? And he said, "Isaac, do you know what I believe about God or what God is?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Tell me." He goes, "Well, just think about this, right? Like when you're hugging the person you love the most, your spouse, your family, are your eyes open or are they closed?" They're closed. Because it's not about the person. It's about you allowing the love to be released. Because love is in all of us, right?
Yeah,
except it's blocked by maybe a lot of things, walls that people put up. But I think that's beautiful that your family is just resonating love. So you guys are resonating God. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys just walking around being God-like because you're just giving love to everybody.
Man, God is so good. You ever heard it's off of Big Sean, off of that Big Sean album, Life is a Feeling Process.
I haven't heard that. Tell us
Yeah.
About
about
to
that.
listen to that
It was
tonight.
like an
Okay.
intro. It was like an extra outro. Excuse me.
Outro.
It was like
Okay.
an outro, and
Yeah.
he was talking to his dad, and his dad was like, "Yeah, and I'm a humble motherfucker,
Yeah.
and I know what I'm talking about." And it was like, life is a feeling process. Life is a feeling process, and it really is. Like, people don't remember your face.
Mm-hmm.
They may not even remember your name, but they will remember how you made them feel.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it leaves an imprint on people's souls how you make them feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. So we're breaking generational curses and increasing generational
Amplifying.
blessings. Amplifying. There you go.
Generational
And
blessings.
amplifying. There you
Yeah,
go.
facts.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So so you got married. You guys what was in San Antonio? Why'd you guys go there? Was it the
Oh, we
military?
went to El Paso, Texas.
El Paso. Okay.
Yeah, I like to call it the armpit of Texas. We went to El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, my mom was born in El Paso, so don't worry. No,
Oh,
no,
I'm
it's
so
not a bad thing.
sorry.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. So El Paso, just add water, right? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's that? The Rio Grande is like the only
Yeah.
like water source
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
Is it that dry? I'm
Yeah,
confused.
it's dry.
Yeah.
It's
right by
like-
the border,
It's in
too?
the desert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes away from Juarez, Mexico. I
Mhm.
mean, don't get me wrong. Like, let me backtrack. Let me take my foot out my mouth.
Yeah.
El Paso has very beautiful angles to it. And I also was able to find myself in El Paso. Like, El Paso was a place where I built a prison of my own making, and I had to escape it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, looking at 4 walls for like 5 days at a time because you don't want to go nowhere. You don't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? El
So you kind
Paso,
of quarantined yourself.
essentially,
Mhm.
yeah. Before quarantine was like
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah, I was already doing that, and that's not. If you know me now, you know that that's not me to even be inside and to like waste time, because I hate wasting time now. But back then, I had to fall. I had to fall to my lowest in order to be where I am now. And El Paso was like a low point for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I thank El Paso for that. I'm grateful for those
Yeah.
moments because now I can seek my bliss with no
right.
with no fear, because I already
Yeah.
know what it feel like to be low. I know what it feel like to be a prisoner of my own mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that because, we're human beings. A lot of people go through a lot of things. Oprah been through so much shit
Yeah.
when she was younger. Look at her now.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Just have faith and continue to love yourself and don't give up.
Facts.
Simple as that,
Yeah. So adversity is actually a good thing, depending on how you
Oh.
look at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I had mentors before I used to be, I've been in companies where there's multimillionaires, super successful people, self-made. And there was a guy, he's from Africa actually, his name's Dr. Martin Quende. And he said, why do you always try to run from adversity? Because the formula for success is mental toughness meets opportunity
Yeah.
equals wealth.
Yeah.
He goes, if you don't have any adversity in your life, you're not mentally tough.
That's good.
You're mentally weak.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, but if you're mentally tough and you have an opportunity, that equals wealth, right?
So true.
So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's so true.
It broke you down to build you up, and look at you now.
Man, I say all the time, when you got the juice, you don't really worry about obstacles that's in your way.
Yeah.
When you understand purpose is a powerful thing to walk in your purpose.
Mhm.
Because the obstacles that come your way, they become purposeful themselves. You begin to look at them like, okay, why am I going through this?
Yeah.
What do I need to do in order to make it through? And also, let me save that in the bank for the next time that this happens.
Yeah, I
So-
agree with you.
Yeah. I talk about I realize turning pain into purpose.
Oh yeah.
Is basically converting dark to light. Everything happens for a reason, and you don't have to stay in the dark. You don't have to
No.
stay in pain. Why not turn it into purpose?
Man, I just wrote a song with a friend, and the chorus is, I've been chasing demons lately, or lately they've been chasing me.
Mhm.
Either
Dang.
way, I'm facing them head on. That's just the way it's got to be. Man, I've been chasing demons lately, or maybe they've been chasing me. Temporary pain is nothing when you know to let it go.
Damn, that's
No
awesome.
longer in my company.
That's awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
You
right?
heard it first, right here, people.
Yeah, she just flowed right on the podcast, right?
That's a
Hey,
blessing.
You said that,
Yeah.
and it's like a trigger point. Like turning
Right?
pain
Into purpose.
into purpose is it's like fuel. And once you
Mhm.
recognize how to do it, like you can be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been through the spiritual path and done ceremonies, ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I realized there is a lot of darkness in me and other people too. And instead of like just pushing it out, why don't you turn that, convert it into light?
Yeah.
It works for me. I don't know about for other people. So
So
that's where I got it from.
I definitely agree that there's darkness in all of us.
Mhm.
And I think it's to be embraced because I see my darkness as a canvas for God's light in a way. And it's just enriching the bigger picture of who I am, you know?
Mhm.
Like me being an imperfect being and also being a vessel to like say what's going on, or be able to express something someone else wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Like that's so enriching for me. So I embrace the dark parts of myself.
Yeah.
Where would I be without them? Like,
Right.
yeah,
I like that.
for sure.
The darkness is a canvas for God's light.
It really is, man.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It
It sounds
really
like a
is.
poem.
I mean, when you think about it, like
Mhm.
these things that we go through, and in these dark spaces, we find we pull from those memories like later on in life.
Mhm.
And when you think about like the treasures that you have from the adversity that you face, you begin to become grateful for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes life easier when you like stop fighting them and embrace it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. You said it best. When you stop fighting it, you start embracing it. It helps you defeat it, right?
just that simple.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like easier said than done, right?
100%. But
But-
it can be done.
Yeah,
right?
but it can be done.
Yeah, and only the strong people can do it,
Yeah.
or the ones that are willing to face it.
You know, and yeah, that there we go. Because
Yeah, I want to say strong.
we
I said
all
the
have
ones that
weak
are willing.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't consider nobody, or you may have a weak moment, but you're not built to be weak.
Mhm.
You weren't built to live in fear. You weren't
Mhm.
built to do as you say. You weren't built. Well, some of us may have been built to follow, but
Yeah.
that's a role. That's a role you should like really fit into. Like
Yeah.
so, I just sometimes it's a little like baffling for me. Like, is you're not weak. You're not weak. You choose to be weak.
Mhm.
Right.
That's a stage. That's a phase. But that's not who you are. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of conditioning there, and if people just seek out like, why am I feeling this way, start questioning yourself, and you will find answers.
Yeah.
As soon as you start asking, it will
Man,
come to you.
I've been
you know?
chasing demons lately. Or lately they've been chasing me. Like sometimes when you look inside yourself,
Yeah.
you chasing those demons inside of you. Or maybe like sometimes they just pop up on you. You know what I mean?
Pop up on you.
But either
I
way,
know her.
if you ready, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Either way, if they coming or you coming for them, it don't matter.
Yeah. And then, a lot of times they say life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger.
Exactly.
Like it's not like, oh, you're the only one facing adversity. It's like
Yeah.
everybody is. You know what I
Everyone
mean?
is.
Yeah, and like you said, everyone's strong. But it takes those moments to make you strong.
Exactly.
How can you be strong if there's nothing,
Yeah.
challenging you or breaking you, so to speak, but to build you back up
Facts.
stronger.
Don't
right?
run.
Right. Yeah.
Don't run.
Yeah. And then another thing. So I watched this YouTube video about the Dalai Lama. So these people got to go to the Dalai Lama and they asked the Dalai Lama, they said, why is there so much anxiety and depression in our society today? And this was the Dalai Lama's answer. It's not word for word, but he said, because everybody is thinking about themselves. The minute you stop thinking about yourself, all the depression and all the anxiety goes away. When you're thinking about, because you're worried about yourself, like social media, my life's not like theirs, da 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 da. He's like, when you switch it to, instead of thinking of yourself, to switching to thinking about others and how you can help others and how you can improve others, all of a sudden the depression, the anxiety goes away because you're not worried about you no more. And I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I want to watch that. But the same thing with our mission with the Bliss Seekers. We want to help people worldwide. I mean, I probably mentioned it to you. Like, I want to start a foundation someday, and help the orphans all over the world, not just in America.
Yeah.
So when I think about them, like, man, I could do this. Like, just keep
so
going
do
and
it.
going and going, and keep creating.
You so could do
So
it.
you know what I'm saying? When I think about other people, like,
You specifically
I want to
can do
help
it.
people.
You specifically can do it.
Yeah, for sure. And it gives me that fuel and that drive, that gas. Like, man, like, I want to do podcasts every day. We'll get there
Yeah.
eventually. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
keep creating every single day. And the universe will give it to me.
And you
It'll
don't
give
know
it to
who's
us.
watching. You don't know
Yeah.
who's watching.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, the algorithm, YouTube, Spotify, all these social networks, you don't know who watching. So when you push your content out there, and when you put it out there with good intentions and with others in mind and helping others in mind, it's already done what it's needed to do. Regardless of how many views you got, regardless of the likes, regardless of like you showing up on people's timeline, I guarantee you, it's somebody out there who watched that specific episode and was like, "Damn, I need to go follow my fucking bliss." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That gets me fired up.
Yeah. Or if Mike Tyson, watches this, Joe Rogan wanna meet us, like, hello.
Yeah, you never know. Speak it out there,
you never know, exactly, right?
Yeah, you're a powerful being.
Thank you.
You
Thank
could
you.
literally
Appreciate
do
that.
anything you put your mind to, and
Thank
I
you.
truly believe that.
Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm big on vision, right? And the vision has been cast for this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to touch on that because I watch the views, I watch the analytics, but I never get discouraged when it's not where I feel like this should be and all that, because I know where we're headed. Like I know where we're going, and I have no doubt that this is going to get there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I love when you said that, because it's not about. I mean, it is about views and likes, but necessarily when you're getting started, it's not about that. It's about the content, the consistency. Because if you have good content, it's going to eventually pop. You know what I mean? It's going to eventually hit, like you said, that right person. It's going to go viral, and it's going to happen, right? So I'm fired up that you said that, because it's all about vision and it's about belief. And I believe in this podcast. I believe in what we're doing. We already see it, like when our guests come on, and just even their family, when their family watches the videos, they come back, they go like, their family all of a sudden sees them in a different light, and they're they're like, wow, we never knew that about you. Because like, imagine this, like, let's say you just met somebody and you're like, hey, let me tell you my life story. They'd be like, really? Yeah, like, come on, Okay. All right. They'd be like, really? Like, come on, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, or let's say, someone said, let's have a 2-hour conversation. People, I don't got the time for that. But you throw on a podcast,
people listen.
Yeah, their story gets heard, right? They have a voice, and I believe everybody has a story. Everybody has a voice. You don't have to be famous or have done something, like, known to have a story. So that's what I'm super excited about this podcast, and what we're doing here is that the vision has been cast, right? 250 million subscribers. That's the goal. Number 1 podcast in the world. We're going to have a compound that's going to have everything creative, right? Dope. And it's going to happen, and it's just a matter of time, right? As long as we put in the work, we stay consistent, right? And we don't let outside distractions affect this. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least for me, I'm in for the long haul. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes too, to be all in.
That's so good.
Just like this is how I know your marriage is going to be successful, because you guys are all in from the get go.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
I'm married. I'm married. I'm so married. I make other things not seem so married. I'm super married.
Yeah. I'm married, super married.
I'm super married.
Yeah. You're like, what's your superpower? Super married.
Married. Yeah. That is kind of like my superpower, because where in the spaces and places, like the gaps that I would need help, he is almost always there. So much to the point where he isn't. I'm like, where are you? Cause like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's about having somebody there that he always says, I can't tell you to be great and then distract or hinder you from doing that.
Yeah.
So the fact that he wants to amplify what I already have going on, it like makes me want to feed that love back into him.
Yeah.
So
that's a true power couple, right?
Oh, thanks, man. You gonna make me blush.
Yeah, power couple. Because you guys are so. It's the same with a relationship or with a team, right? It's like when you have a team or you have a couple, you don't have to worry about your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because they fill in the void.
Yeah.
Right. So you can just focus on what you're good at, or in a partnership. Like if you guys truly complete each other, that's the right one, Not necessarily complete each other, because someone shouldn't complete you, but make each other better.
Yeah.
You make each other better. Like when you're down, he picks you up, and vice versa, and you guys push each other. So I definitely had no doubt that's a solid power partnership right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing too is because I'm a Sag, I'm a Scorpio and a Sag cuff.
I'm Scorpio, so
okay, so yeah, I don't take kindly to like ownership, boundaries. I see a line, I immediately want to cross it.
Yeah.
So it's just like the don't touch. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
So I think it's too like I'm learning the older I get that we do not own anyone.
Mhm.
We experience people.
Yeah.
So the idea is to experience that person to the fullest degree.
Mhm.
And how they make you feel, how you enjoy them. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
I like that.
I experience Nigel. Nigel experiences me. And in the spaces and places that he wants to be great, I use my greatness to amplify his. And in the spaces and places I want to be great, he does that vice versa for me.
Yeah.
And we just blessed like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you said we don't own anyone. We experience them.
Yeah, we don't
right?
own people.
I love that.
That's why people can die, be here and be gone tomorrow. And you want to hold on to that person so bad you remember how they made you feel.
Right.
That's that experience.
Right.
That's that experience you have ownership to. But that person itself, the machine that makes you feel that way, that person, you don't own them.
Yeah.
You could never own them. And
Yeah.
when that click for you and they begin to do things that make them happy, you begin to do things that make you happy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
look, well, as two functioning adults, we're great. So maybe we should function together.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We don't own anyone.
That's awesome. And so that it kind of flows exactly with, because I believe we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes together. If you say you just experience them, yeah, because you guys are sharing the human experience together.
Yeah, facts.
Right? But we're spiritual. We belong to the universe,
Yeah.
heaven, the earth,
Yeah.
whatever you believe.
One day you're going to be gone.
Yeah, you're going to...
Physically.
Physically, your earth suit will be
Yeah,
gone.
your earth suit expired.
Yeah.
You're just like a plant. So you know how like we see plants outside and we watch them grow. And then we watch them wither away.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like a plant. Life is a vapor.
Mm-hmm.
You're here and then it fades away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's all about enjoying that experience. Not only yours, but the ones you have around you. I was telling Joe, I was like, it's like enjoying other people's perspectives and cultures and moments. It's like a camera. You look and you directly at the camera right now. But what happens when you shift left and you begin to play with the lights and the shades that's all around you? Life becomes richer. You see textures, you see levels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what those perspectives are, allowing you those levels and those textures, you know?
Yeah, that's deep.
You're so wise. You should write a book.
How'd you get so deep?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like, you know what it sounds like? Freedom.
Yeah.
There's like no resistance when you're like, I'm just experiencing you. You
Look,
know? I don't own you. I'm just experiencing you.
Yeah, and then you don't feel so like, because I used to be like territorial. I used to be like, don't touch him. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm your only girlfriend. I'm your only friend. That's a girl.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't like none of that. And, you know, I'm still a little like, hey, now.
Yeah.
We're an all-star.
Yeah,
We get our
yeah.
game on. But no, I'm learning more and more that life is not only a feeling process, and we experience people, and when you like embrace that process and you embrace the fact that I don't own you, and you move freely, and I don't try to, I can exert my energy in things that I do control, like myself, my happiness, the things that I accomplish. So
Yeah, they say the only two things you can control in life are your activity and your attitude.
really,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say the people that are the happiest and the most positive are the ones that only worry about what they can control, the things they can't control.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely try to be that. I
Yeah.
like to think I'm like that.
Yeah, we all try.
Yeah,
we all do our
Yeah.
best.
I
you
like
know?
to think I'm like
Yeah.
that.
So you guys came to California in 2019. That's only a couple years ago.
Yeah,
And then-
we're going on 3 years now.
Wait, when I met you 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought you've been here longer. Okay.
No, yeah,
Sorry,
I got
go
here.
ahead.
I got here at January 1st, 2019.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny because you guys are here. How was 2019 in California? What was that like for you guys?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's California. You're going from Florida to California, like. It's different races I didn't know existed.
Really?
It's different foods I didn't know existed. It's different places I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And you know, that sad side of me is all about adventure. So I hit the ground running. I wanted to see, do, smell, taste, like anything I could.
You came in with like excitement and like
arms
let's
wide
do it.
open.
Yeah,
I came from El Paso, Texas, like where there was nothing around me, you know. So I'm here now and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah. I came in like with an open heart.
Yeah, and then you came to the Bay Area too, which
was perfect.
like you said, multicultural,
Perfect.
diverse.
They would have
like-
ate me alive in LA. They'll be like, "Oh, you nice, huh?" They'll
I
eat me alive in LA.
I like that.
I'm better now, so they probably won't eat me alive now.
Yeah.
But the old me, I was still like performing in church dresses. So
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
yeah,
right?
thank God I
Yeah.
ended up in the Bay first.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
the Bay is chill. It's a lot of people are down to earth, and especially in the art
Yeah.
scene, the music scene,
Yeah.
everyone help each other out. So
And I think the Bay is also where I met a lot of women creatives. That was just a space. I don't know what it is about the Bay, but I met so many ambitious women throughout this process. My last video shoot I did, Rise 2020, it was an all-female production crew. From the behind-the-scenes photographer, videographer, the direct videographer, the director. We had MUA on scene. We had like artists that are all female production. From the editing to the shooting, And I proudly say that was on purpose. That was on purpose. Over time, I've been able to build a network of powerful women. And it feels so good when projects come out and we see them and they're like, "Man, that was good. Who did it?" And I'm like, here's her number. These are her fees.
Yeah.
These are her fees. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I want to talk about how we met real quick.
Oh yeah.
It was from a all woman event. Shout out to Desi and Ev.
Yeah, we had
They've
them on
been
the
here,
podcast.
the Chrysalis Space.
Chrysalis Space.
She was performing
Okay.
one of her music, and I'm just like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Like everybody was feeling it. You know what I'm saying? All woman event, and it's all
Thank
about
you.
just connecting and through music and healing. So
Yep, and Joe was shooting.
yeah,
And we really
doing
got to know each
photography.
other at the treehouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
treehouse energy.
Treehouse, big
Hashtag.
treehouse energy.
Mhm.
Period. Yeah. That was a crazy space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy space. You know how J. Cole did Revenge of the Dreamers, where he rented out this big house and he just had a bunch of producers and rappers and like of all different walks of life.
Yeah, so like a big creative.
Yeah, that's exactly.
smorgasbord.
Really?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
that's exactly what the treehouse was, but it was like a female artist tradition, the addition.
Nice.
So we had healers, dancers, singers, womb wellness, anything you could think of from an artistic point of view. We probably had it there. Photographers, videographers, who ran the things were women. So
Yeah,
that was
I
dope.
think 2020 kind of brought out more creators too, or
Oh yeah,
it
Yeah.
allowed people to. Well, it made people wake up. Number one, 'cause-
yeah. I said 2020 was the year of clarity.
yeah. So like, when it happened, I had to speak for a big company Zoom, like 5,000 people, and I had prayed before. Again, I'm not religious, but I prayed. I said,
Yeah. It's 2020. We got to switch it up.
Yeah. I do believe in God and all that, but I'm not religious. I believe. So I was like, just give me something good to give them, because it was 5,000 people.
Yeah,
And I was like, it just had happened.
yeah.
And I'm like, I have to leave them with something good, you know?
What did you say?
Yeah. And so what came to me was God said, I put life on pause so that you can reevaluate every single area of your life, your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, whatever you're doing. And if you're doing the right thing, go hard. Like go hard and keep going.
Yeah.
If not, now is your time to change. Because when I put life back on play, you're going to miss the opportunity if you don't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's so many people that started a side hustle or a business
Facts.
or went back to what they knew best, right?
Facts.
This podcast came out of that.
Yeah.
Because I was in financial services for the last decade and I was always creative.
That's crazy.
But I felt like I couldn't be myself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I had to fit into this mold that wasn't me, but I was like, this is a good business. I make money, da, da, da.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me. And then I learned that there's this whole creative space with YouTube and social media. And I was like, wait a minute. And then Joe Rogan signs a deal for $100 million. And I'm like, whoa. Well, there's like big money in this.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. Right. And then
Yeah.
the Bliss Seekers was birthed out of that. Right. So I truly feel like 2020 was a time where, because I don't know if it's just the vibe that we're in, because the tribe that we're meeting lots of creators, but almost everybody I meet recently has said that they made a change in their life, and it's always for the better.
Yeah.
Spending more time with your family.
Man, that's so good.
You know what I mean? Like we were so, especially here, because you're from Florida, it's a little more
Yeah.
slow pace, right?
Yeah.
The Bay is like go rat race.
Yes.
Yeah, and now it's like, well, for the past year, it's like stop.
It's been a little slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people got to just think and reflect and
Facts.
yeah, and then you guys started your business, your trucking business in
Yep.
2020.
I went hard for 2020. I said 2020 was the year of clarity.
Mm.
And if you were paying attention, you got to really see who people were.
Yeah.
You really got to see who you were.
Uh-huh.
You really got to see what you were made of.
Right.
Cause
I like that, made of.
Yeah, because when you sitting in a room by yourself and the only person you got to talk to is you,
Yeah.
and the only people you like, think about like the grown man that had to move back home with his parents.
Yeah.
And, it ain't under no like fruition other than like the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it just made sense for him to be in the space there and to only be in that space and to not talk to anyone else physically. You got to face yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see what you made of. And that's in a small, simple form. We ain't even talking about people that like got housed with like abusive like partners or parents or family members. Like we don't think about that. We don't think about like they been locked up with those people for 9 months. Yeah. What trauma had they possibly been through?
Yeah, and we feel for anybody who's gone through some bad stuff during this time. We feel for you, and hopefully they can turn it into something positive. But there has been a lot of good that has come out of this.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, I don't know. Did you create a new side hustle? Did you find something about yourself? Leave it in the comments below. Let us know.
Yeah, name one thing or two things that came out for you. The biggest things that came out for you for 2020.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add to that. Like, I want to say 2020 is the greatest awakening.
Yeah.
I mean, we all still continue to be awakened.
Yeah.
Depending on how much work you're doing with yourself and stuff like that. Digging deep, right?
Yeah.
Being in that room by yourself, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get to that place? How am I going to do that? So to me, it's like, okay, I have all these dreams and goals, but how am I going to do that when the world is closed?
Right.
Man.
That rhymed, right? Anyway, so it's
Bars.
like, okay, maybe I did pray. I was like setting intention. Okay, please, universe, give me something that I could do and continue to create and do something I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I could do any day of the week or whatever. So, and that gets me somewhere and help people, a big amount of people. And I think that's how I attracted Isaac. I'm like, hey, he hit me up and talk about you too. I'm like, yeah, I like podcasts. I listen to podcasts actually every week.
Yeah.
And I like conversations and, the big vision. And we've known each other since 3 years ago. So I was like, okay,
it was
why
weird.
not?
We just like met in the lunchrooms at my old company.
Yeah.
And we just talked. We talked for a long time.
Yeah.
And we kind of clicked. We're very similar, both of us. And she was probably the person I knew that, because she called, or we spoke, I think it was in 2019 or
17,
18, and she's like, I'm following my dreams. I'm gonna be a photographer.
Yeah.
And I was low key like jealous. I was like, I wish I could do that, like I wish I could follow my dreams, but I'm, I wouldn't say I'm stuck, because my old company, I learned so much. They built me to who I am now. I helped a lot of people. I have a passive income from that, so I'm very happy about that. But I just felt like, like there was something different. My purpose was something different, right?
Yeah.
And the Bliss Seekers is, we want to inspire people to find their true purpose.
Yeah.
Because what is there in life to do other than to live your purpose?
You got nothing but time.
Yeah, it's something I want to add to this. When I told you I'm gonna follow my dreams and be a photographer, it came from pain. I went through like a horrific relationship to the point like, as soon as I'm single, I'm like focused on myself. Like, man, I'm gonna go hard. And I'm like, I want to go follow my dreams. Like, I've been through like so much drama and traumatic experience in my life. Like, through that darkness, I found my own light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's like, what do I love doing? Photography. I went hard.
And when you do that, it resonates. You have that big energy. When you say, okay, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
I'm really big on actionable items. So, and working backwards. So, Goodreads, the company I work for, is owned by Amazon. Amazon is really big on working backwards. Basically, working backwards is figuring out what you want to do and figuring out the steps that it took on the backwards end for you to get there, and then figuring out how can I make those tasks actionable items for me to do right now. So I really feel like when we work backwards and we say, what do I want? Sit there and you're like, okay, I want this. Yeah. Then you begin to figure out those actionable items to be the person that you want to be. And then when you are and you like resonate and live in that space, people feel that. And they be like, dang, I want to follow my dreams, as if you couldn't do it yourself. Like, so do
the things that excites you. That's what I told myself last year when the whole pandemic happened. Like, what's exciting for me?
Yeah.
What are the things? Photography, being with
Facts.
being in nature, spending time with animals. Yeah, I
Facts.
talk to animals, so I'm a horse whisperer. No, I'm just saying.
Reverse engineering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Goodreads is owned by Amazon.
Yeah, correct.
That's awesome. Let's talk about Goodreads because I know you're really passionate about that.
Love my job.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Oh man, I love my job. So Goodreads is gonna be like the Facebook for books. This is gonna be a place where you're gonna be able to connect with friends and see what they've been reading, what they're currently reading. You're gonna be able to connect with authors as well as authors connecting with their audience. It's really, people go to Goodreads from a discovery perspective, wanting to find something out. It's a good place to find books. It's a good place to you don't buy books there, but they have links where you can buy the books to like go to a place to buy the books. But it's really a discovery site, and I really enjoy telling anyone about it because I feel like it's a great tool for anyone to use, whether you read often or you read seldomly.
Yeah. And by the way, reading is powerful. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where it happened, but somewhere along the line, everybody just stopped reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or so it seems.
So it seems, right? But the most successful people in the world, leaders, CEOs, the most successful people in the world read because they say there's something about the way you learn. If you read, your brain, I think, and don't quote me on this, I probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but they say like when you write or when you read, your brain retains it more, right?
Yeah.
Versus watching something or listening to something, right?
Yeah.
So that's powerful that there is, I mean, it's Amazon, right? So Amazon is a big company. So
Amazon bought Goodreads. So Goodreads was a thing before Amazon, but yeah,
they seen something there. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, Amazon started off selling books.
I was gonna say they started selling books.
They started off selling books.
I do have the Kindle Paperwhite.
Yeah,
I can get Goodreads books from, like, how do you?
Yeah,
because they're connected, right?
So Goodreads is a site that's going to help you find books.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you can find the books that you would like off of Goodreads, and you could probably get onto Goodreads from your Kindle book.
Oh, okay, cool.
And also, Goodreads has things called Kindle Notes, where authors go in and make like little notes and stuff within the book, explanations and things of that nature. So it's like it's a dope site. Nobody know about it.
Do they have an app?
Yeah, it's an app and it's a website, Goodreads.
Where do they find the website?
So you can Goodreads.com. You can also find it on like the App Store as well. You can also download it on the Android, iPads, all of that.
Yeah.
It's there.
Okay, and we'll leave it in the description for everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to Goodreads.
Right there below. Check it out. We'll leave it in there.
Read books.
Shout out to Goodreads. Yeah, man. I mean, knowledge is key, and I think books hold a lot of knowledge to them. And to add on what you said, I think the evolution of technology has played a part in that because, why would you read a book when you can see it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But it is a different experience to read a book. I always say the book is better than the movie.
Yeah.
So like Twilight, the book was way better than the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so Team Jacob.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's what Edward looked like?
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I Team Jacob? So
also you switch.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. It's real controversial. I don't wanna shut you down in the comments.
Yeah,
man,
you don't want all the Twilight fans.
Yeah.
No, actually we do.
Yeah, we do. Comment, who are you, Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I'm
Let
still
us know.
Team Jacob.
Yeah.
Team
there you
Jacob.
go.
You
Okay.
know, I'm a werewolf at heart. But yeah, so good. I think the main problem people usually have is figuring out how to read, not like the Bliss Seekers podcast, not actually the act of reading, but what you're doing while you're reading. What are you sitting in? How are you sitting? Do you have snacks by you? Do you like to drink while you like watching it? Like, where are you? What is around you? What are you hearing at the time? Like, I found out I didn't really like to start reading until I started riding a BART. And I had to escape a space.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a TV. I had my phone, but it would always like run my energy dry. And I needed a space to escape my mind, like somewhere to slow down. And I would put on nature sounds in my headphones and then I would read because it kind of like cleared my space. Because some people, I think when we're first introduced to reading, it's usually as a task, whether it be homework or some type of requirement. And we carry that on into our adulthood. So I don't read unless I have to, whether it be instructions or like some type of manual or I'm helping my kids out with my homework, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when I treat it like a hobby and I curate it to my liking? I know what space I like to be in. I know what time I like to do it. Do I like to do it in the morning? Do I like to do it at night?
Yeah.
These are the things that we don't really think about. We just kind of carry on these like little childhood little childhood like characteristics or childhood actions conditioning into our adulthood, and reading is one of those things.
That's powerful, because I think you said it best. I think probably one of the main reasons people don't like reading, well, number one, they probably weren't taught to read by their parents.
Correct.
And number two, we're forced to read books we don't like in school.
All the time.
You know?
All the time.
Yeah, because I don't remember who I was talking to, but they said, I didn't not like reading. I was just not interested in the books that I was reading.
Yeah.
When they found books they were passionate about reading, they would devour the books.
Yeah, but you know American school curriculum is trash anyway.
Oh yeah,
trash.
Yeah,
like, trash.
It's outdated. It needs to be changed. You know what I mean?
It's outdated. It's fictional. It's trash. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
trash. Like, it's trash, man. Like, make sure like you're not dependent on the American school system to educate your children.
Yeah,
because it don't work that way.
I love this meme. It always says, I'm so glad we studied parallelograms in school, because my parallelograms are due. Parallelogram season is coming up, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I killed that one. I'm so glad we learned about parallelograms instead of taxes in school, because parallelogram season's coming up. You know what I mean?
It don't make sense.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the teachers out there right now that's like trying their best to push this trash curriculum virtually.
Yeah.
Like, it was already hard enough to try to keep the kids' attention with like falsified information, basically.
Yeah.
But it's already hard to keep these kids' attention with that type of information in person. So the fact that y'all out here, y'all are trying, y'all are present, like, you are appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes those couple hours, like those kids are with you virtually, are the only time that those parents have to think. Not even like even go anywhere, but think and be to themselves. So shout out to all the virtual teachers out there. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
I ain't got no kids, but I got a lot of coworkers that got kids, and I be seeing them terrorizing.
I had a friend. She was just telling me that her kids are like not even paying attention, and they're just like zoned out, and then she says some teachers are like strict about it, and some. So it's, I mean, again, like, I mean, it's not the teacher's fault, right?
Not at all.
But I remember even when I went to high school, like, most teachers, most school was just babysitting. That's all it was. Like, if I was getting an F or if I was getting an A, they didn't really care. You know what I mean? I was fortunate my parents cared, because when I went into school, obviously I'm Hispanic, so my parents wanted me to be in AP courses or college prep courses. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I was in wood shop, and I was in math A, and then my mom got my classes in. My mom's a little crazy, right?
Yeah, good
she
for
grew up
her.
in El Paso in the projects.
Good for her.
Okay, so she grew up fighting like every day. And
you gonna get them AP classes?
Yeah. She like I think I remember her like busting the door down, going to the counselor and being, "Can you tell me why my son doesn't have any AP courses?" And that counselor or the principal was just like in shock. Yeah. She's like, I'm not leaving this room until my son is in this and that. But see, what if you didn't have a parent that was like that?
How many kids are out there losing potential because they just stuck in this prison pipeline system that we've like uplifted to be something to like groom our children? Yeah. Like, how crazy is that? Yeah. How crazy is that?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anything will be done, but I guess the power of what's going on now is a lot of it's going back to the parents, right?
Yeah,
you know,
facts.
whether they want it or not, you
Facts.
know? Yeah. Like my sister and her husband are going to start homeschooling their kids. They live in London, right? Yeah. And she was telling me about the curriculum, and that she said they love it because it teaches them how to be critical thinkers, how to learn about different religions, different countries, how people live, how to develop their own ideas and thoughts. And I'm like, wow, that's how school should be.
Yes, that's exactly how school should be.
Yeah. And then, you know.
Why?
Yeah.
Why did I move to America? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love
it. It's still the greatest country in the world, but there's a couple things that need to be fixed.
I don't know if it's the greatest. You know, I always say
we got some crazy stuff going on.
I'm a proud American, though.
Yeah.
Well, I always say I'm a planet Earth citizen.
Yeah, I'm a proud American.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I think I got blood ties here. Like, my ancestors fought. Like, I mean, they got carried over here, and then they fought to have a place here. So I'm a proud American. I accept that with open arms. I love America, but I love America for its many layers. I know it don't love me back all the time, and that's okay. That's just the relationship we have with one another. But America cannot deny the attributes and the things that my people have contributed to it.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel you on that one. Like, what I mean when I say this is still the greatest country in the world, like, it has its flaws, like every country does, especially now.
Facts.
I don't think ever in my lifetime, 43 years, have I seen the country this divided.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
let's see.
In my lifetime.
Oh, okay. We talking about.
I'm talking about my lifetime. I'm talking about 1977 till now.
Oh, I thought we were saying in general.
No, I'm not talking about in general. No. I'm not talking about before 77. But since I've been able to understand what's going on, I have not seen it this divided. You know what I mean? There's been some funny presidents, but I've never seen it this divided. You know what I mean? But what I mean by that is like, you know what? In the end, no matter what, if you make no excuses and you bust your butt and you go out there and go after what you want, you'll be able to make it. That's what I mean. Like, let's say if we grew up in like you know, Syria, right? Okay, he gave me the okay, right? You know? I didn't want to say it, but let's say we grew up in Syria. There's some stuff going on there where people don't have freedoms. They can't do things. They can't just start a podcast if they wanted to. Yeah. Especially talking about the government. Yeah. I mean, they would be gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they would disappear off the face of the earth. Facts. So, you know, that's what I mean by that. I mean, this is truly a free, so to speak, country, right? But I do understand that some people have a different experience than others. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Do you think freedom is subjective?
What do you mean? So
do you think that what I think is freedom may be different from like what you think is freedom? Or do you think freedom in itself it just is what it is? Like to be free is what it is.
What I mean by freedom is like we can pretty much do what we want. So what I mean is like I said, other countries, there really is no freedom of speech. There's no elections. There's no opportunity to just start a business or whatever. There's no opportunity to, you know, do stuff. And I know it's also regional in this country too.
Well, also women's rights, I want to add.
Yeah,
like other countries don't have women's
other
rights,
countries, women can't. So one of my great friends, she was born in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, they barely were able to drive. If you show your hair in that country, they can kill you, and it's okay. No one will get in trouble. Yeah. In order for you to speak, a man has to accompany you and speak for you.
Yeah, you got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. That's not gonna.
I'm talking about 2020.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I truly understand.
No. I'm hearing you.
Depending on the color of your skin in this country, you have a little more freedom or not. Less, we just seen the best example of it a couple days ago on Capitol Hill.
I'm not gonna cap. That was just so fun to watch. Yeah. I hate that I had so much fun watching it.
Yeah,
that was a movie.
Though.
I feel bad. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I had fun watching it. I mean, because from an African American woman's perspective, that is nothing new to me. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not like, oh, they stormed the Capitol. Like that's okay. Yeah. Okay, white people showing their ass. Like that's nothing new here in America. That's what they do. Think about it this way. As an African American female, I have a unique experience in America. Not only being black, but also being a woman. So the things that I face as a black person and as a woman kind of collide at times.
Thank you for tuning in. That was the end of part 1. Part 2 comes out next Monday, 9 a.m. Please stay tuned.
Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when the next one comes out.